I grew up in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, and as part of that religious tradition, it was important to talk about history, as well as talking about spirituality, talking about faith. Faith and history were one and the same. And so I grew up with stories of Harriet Tubman, stories of Frederick Douglass, stories of struggle, stories of getting through. And it always was centered around faith. And it was faith that gets you through. And I carried that piece. Part of also that tradition was music. And a lot of times it was music that helped bring those messages home. And one song that has always stuck with me, even though I moved away from the AME church, is the song, "We've Come This Far by Faith." And when I'm in that dark space, it's one of those songs that I go to that just helps me just get through the moment. We've come this far by faith, leaning on the Lord, trusting in His holy word. He's never failed me yet. Oh, 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 I can't turn around. We've come this far by faith. That song gets me through some dark times. It gets me through those moments when just everything just was rough. But as I moved through, I thought, how can I bring my UU faith to get me through these dark times? What are other places where I find my strength? Because it's important to me, and it came from my upbringing, to really think about how my faith gets me through. And as my faith has changed, and I moved out of strictly Christian theology, I've had to think about what the words of this song mean to me, and if the words still have meaning, or if it's the source within those, the sentiment within that song that still supports me. What changes do I have to make to really find my faith within Unitarian Universalism, to find that strength, that hope, to find resilience in my spiritual community? And I think that's important work that all spiritual communities need to do, finding that source of resilience, finding that faith. I think sometimes as we tend to shy away from language like faith because we have particular ideas of what that is supposed to mean. But I think UUs really need to reclaim that word. We don't necessarily need to have faith in a particular deity. There are things that we can have faith in, like love, like in the goodness of humanity, like in justice and peace. Those are things in which we can have faith, and they can be sources of inspiration for us. They can be those pieces that can ground us when the world around us is in a tumult and we are feeling like we are sitting in the midst of chaos. Our faith can ground us. Our faith can give us the roots to stand tall and to weather the storm. And life goes in ways that we have to weather storms off and on. Very few of us have those lives where we don't have that stormy time that happens every once in a while. And for some of us, it happens more often than others. And so how do we weather the storm? And so I invite you to think about, in what do you have faith? What grounds you? What holds you in those dark times? Those struggles, the chaos? Where have you found comfort in the storm? What keeps you moving forward? I think Unitarian Universalism has faith in it. It teaches us about the worth and dignity of every person, the value that each person has, and to be able to hold on that every person has worth and dignity, which means I have worth and dignity. Because oftentimes we can do pretty well with most people in recognizing they have worth and dignity, and sometimes the hardest person to think about having worth and dignity is us. We don't, especially when things are difficult and we are struggling and we are not doing what we think we should be doing. We forget our own worth and dignity. And so recognizing in that piece is important. Recognizing that we are all connected. All in life is connected. And so that means we are not ever truly alone. Because we're all connected. And so there is always someone there for you. This is why we come to church. To have a community. And part of being in a community is to support one another. And so even having faith that there is someone out there who wants you to get through, who wants to help you, who wants to hold you. That's important. That is something we can have faith in. We can have faith in the arc of justice. Even though sometimes it seems like it will never actually appear and reach people, we know that justice has happened in the past and it keeps happening. And that we can have faith that our world is tending towards justice. It does move there. It may not be in the time frame that we want it to be, and oftentimes it doesn't work as quickly as we want it, but it moves. And to have that to hold on to, that justice is there for all of us. Justice is there for the world. Justice and peace to all things that we have seen, so we know that they can come again. And to me, the center of it is love. That love is that energy that connects us human being to human being, animal to animal, living being to living being. Love, the power of love to overcome all differences, to overcome all struggle. And if we can find one of those pieces, those different things that we personally can hold on to, that can be the thing that we have faith in. And that is the piece that we can then hold, as the song says, we've come this far by faith. That is the faith that we can continue. We can't turn back because we come this far by faith. And it'll help us remember, if we can't turn around, I've got to keep going, and my faith will keep me going through. So I have reworded the song in terms of my own theology to help me sing it in a way that connects deeply to where I am now. We've come this far by faith, leaning on love, trusting in justice and peace. They've never failed me yet. Oh, 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 can't turn around. We've come this far by faith. We have come this far by faith. We can even look at our history as Unitarian Universalists and see that faith in justice and peace has kept us doing the work that we do. Faith and love keeps us moving. We've come, all of us, this far by faith. May we find that thing that for us deeply grounds us, deeply connects us, so that we can truly have a faith that nurtures us, that helps us to grow, and that helps us to stand in the midst of all the tumult that life can throw to us. And we know that life can throw us a lot. May we find that faith here in this space and in this community to make it through. Blessed be.
Amen.
Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in our closing hymn, number 95, There is More Love Somewhere. May we find that peace that grounds us, that holds us, that moves us forward together, so that we can sing that we have come this far by faith, leaning on love, trusting in justice and peace, because they have never failed us yet. We can't turn around because we have come this far by faith. And we go in peace. The service is ended, but the work begins. Blessed be. Amen.
Though we extinguish the chalice here, we carry its light and warmth with us in our hearts. Please enjoy the praise. Toast Luke.
I could just see them.
Hey,
How are you, Marty?
Good, how you doing?
He had told me his prelude was a scene from a movie where it was robots making breakfast. He really
I
said,
could, I was trying to figure out.
yeah, it was robots cooking breakfast.
I was thinking like Woody Allen running frantically around Manhattan, but
How are you? Good, it's good to see you. So I'm so glad you're here. Did you get here? Huh? You drove over here? Oh, yeah? Huh? Great. Great. So, from 8 pages to 5. You know, what they want in each category, what they don't want. I said, okay, all right. I have to go home and make a note. So I talked to David.
don't have a phone. It doesn't mean much these days.
Any other history writer? These folks don't have a real eye reading.
And she said, you know, people go down there and they move, For the first 2 months, they just do everything. And then they come to a
I said,
point in the road and they decide that they're going to go back to sort of enjoying the sunset and being in normal life. And some people,
That's the
they, no, Elsa was my teacher in the early 70s, she's child development. Wonderful, wonderful.
Halloween, and that's it.
And her husband, my husband, and they live in the Lombard community. You live forever. 40 years, 50, yeah, because they
And so I can remember
1973, so, yeah.
and we were doing French fries at some point for several years and all.
No, I ain't going to pay. I did talk
I
to
was
her.
taking away his business.
Okay, so I'm gonna get you
How good I was.
the prisoners.
Yeah, it was
And you
an
can
interesting
decide what you want to give.
time. You know, my friends
So
grabbed me and said, I gotta get out of here. This guy was like,
You don't. So we'll execute the hardbound book to Beatrice Stanley for state fair. I mean, Pontiac. Whatever you choose, okay? I'll get you a list for state fair. And a list for Pontiac. Okay? Okay, as long as they're not real female paper. German language? Oh, okay. We need
There's a
Spanish.
street called French.
Espanol.
It's actually not quite in the French. It's like almost like
Yeah.
if you go through and it's got several clubs there. One of which is
So where are you
Snug
living
Harbor,
now?
if you're a jazz person, Snug Harbor. I don't know if they still do it because it's been years since I've been down there, but
Yeah,
oldest
on
is it
Finley.
Phyllis Marsalis, I think the father.
Yeah, I've gotten to know Dr.
Okay. Could be Snug
So
Harbor.
you can have some down at
Snug
cocktail?
Harbor is over there in French music. And then there's another place that's more wild, a guy named, what's his name? Of course, there's Tipitinos, but this is Curtis Ruffin. I'm forgetting the name of the place, but it's over to an army, to the Navy barracks in, two names, it's the Bywater, but it's also the Upper Ninth Ward area. No, really, he's closer to the city part. So there's basically, there's a canal that divides the lower and upper north. And then most of the people that work on the other side, and mostly the south, or the north side. Oh, yeah. No, Curtis was doing lots of stuff after the war, and it's kind of place, so it's a while. It's like, local, more local places. Friends of mine that went down there, their story was they were out back, there was a high with this guy.
Realize I'm wearing
It turns out it was Curtis Ruffin, who was getting ready to go on stage and like a half hour. Yeah, I mean, it's a sort of a wild place. I'll just warn you before you show up and find it.
Marjorie Nelson is actually the daughter of a
What am I telling you? You guys are all set.
I'm really
One of the things that really did happen in Storm was that it affected the music scene is that you couldn't shoot the rhythm. A lot of people had these like gigs where they were doing like some music and they were doing something else like fixing or they were, taking care of kids. They just had to make enough hip hop and they lived in sort of this underground culture. And after the storm, things got so much more expensive because there were a lot fewer houses to rent. And so now people have to do it, like, they had to make a living off of it, or they had to do something else. They didn't have that sort of in between.
Population, I don't know when it decreased, but I was there like 20
Because I can't do that by myself. I'm by myself, like I should be working. There's other to work on, just like sit there, like stay up to work on something. Just give it a light.
Some areas that weren't just for, so there was a lot of areas that were affected, that came back.
I happen to have the
land
black card of
got pretty well
vegan
planned.
I got an Amex black card thing.
the gardens are
I think
actually.
she's kind of
Yeah, there's actually so there's on the lower ninth ward, there's two sections. There's a section close to the river, and it kind of goes up there, and that's where a lot of the historic preservation stuff is. And then the stuff that was
Everything else that wasn't
kind of goes toward the river, but toward the
Oh yeah, I guess we could do
lake doesn't
advantage
take there. There's what's it called? The shipping canal
to
system.
have like a expansion.
Well, Levy Grove, there's also all the, what's it called? Mr. Go, Mississippi River Gulf Outlet. So on the northern end of the lower ninth ward, there's a shipping canal that goes all the way out to the Gulf, basically. And it's mostly swampland, but they dredged it enough. So what happened, there's no locks in between. So when the storm surge came in, the lower ninth got whacked in two directions. One is that the canal broke because of barge, something happened, a barge broke through it. I'm not sure exactly why. There's a variety of stories about it. And that kind of landed in the lower ninth ward. I mean, literally was like on the street. But then there was a storm surge that came right up that also flooded the area. It flooded there and it flooded North East. And they've been trying to close Mr. Go for a while. The Army Corps of Engineers actually thinks that it should be closed. So they asked Joe, he actually was all about this. So Joe, Laurel and Joe.
Yeah, right,
Lambert Smith. Yeah, Joe Smith. He actually has done some stuff from the Army Corps side.
I remember being shown the barge and it's sort of surrounded by grassy fields, or at least it was here.
Yeah, there was like 2 or 3 houses that were literally in the eddy of the barn, because all the water went around them.
Yeah.
That's where we were building stuff, is not there, because now, it's a really good looking movie, so Brad Pitt was doing some stuff down there.
Yes, I've been reading up on it, and his name keeps popping.
It's really interesting stuff, although it doesn't fit at all. I mean, there's one that looks kind of like a kitty litter scooper.
Oh, really?
It's like that. It's like a giant kitty, like a scooper. But it's all like really, I mean, it's not it's sustainable environmentally, but it's $300,000 houses in an area where the houses were going for, 50 or 100, so people are like, we don't want this, we're being imposed on us. On the other hand, people who got the houses, I think, generally, my sense was they didn't like them, so there's like this real, he's trying to make a change, and...
Well, you paid attention to it. I've known.
Well, I paid it, my information lasts about 5 years, and stopped at 5 years ago. I was going down there, for about 2 years right after the storm. I was down there like,
Really?
yeah.
Got to know.
I got to know some of it, but New Orleans is actually, Acorn actually won, Acorn Housing actually won the contract with U of I and with Cornell to redesign the Lower Ninth Ward, to do the plan for the Lower Ninth Ward. And subsequently lost it and a whole other set of political things. It had nothing to do with right wing, left wing, it was just local politics. But we ended up with this bizarre thing because we had all these students working for us, right? And they were all getting course credit. So they were working for free and they went out and literally surveyed the entire area. So a normal planner relied a lot on the census data,
Yeah.
which was worthless at that point because the people who'd taken the census were no longer there.
Right, yeah.
And the land was like, you know, it was like, okay, this house is viable, this house isn't. And then the other people, it was really interesting, was crawling around these houses with guys from the Earth